So after about 2 weeks going on 3, I'm finally back, and the reason that I've been going so far is because it was actually a test. You see, I really wanted to go and test out a little thing on my channel to see how many people generally really cared. And through that test, I got some results that actually made me very, very, very disturbed. Well, very expected too, because I really didn't want it to happen, but it did.
I say very way too much. Looking back on some of my old videos, I've realized that I do have a lot of sprucing up to do on some of my new content that I'm trying to produce. I just say very and like and really a lot. Just have to go and work on not doing that, if possible. Not as much.
So, yeah, those results weren't fucking pretty. The results out of 560 subscribers generally giving a fuck was only 2%. And 2% in this specific matter would only be about fucking 4 people. Just 4 people out of 560 people subscribed to my channel actually generally messaged me on PlayStation 4.
560 plus is actually pretty alright back then. However, it wasn't good enough. I was just barely scraping by, just getting people off of Tekken, I think Street Fighter at the time, and Call of Duty. Back then, like, getting subscribers was just really tough. I mean, it's a lot easier to do it now. However, you're more likely just going to go and get more inactive subs. Like, you'll be lucky if you even go and get a comment. So, yeah, I can kind of feel what my past self is going through and stuff. But there's a variety of different things that could be taken out of this to where I can understand now at 29 going on 30 very soon as to what is necessary or what would have been necessary more or less to try to get better at that time. Because right now I'm just sounding more than a bit whiny, really. I probably was just going through it. I don't even fully remember this moment 1000%, but I do remember more than partially. I was upset about people not subscribing to the channel because I wanted to go and do like an event or something. I tried to go and host the event on PlayStation, and people were not going to the event. They weren't even paying attention to their messages, to invites, or anything. You know, like how if you go and invite somebody to an event, or you're overexcited, more than overexcited for like an event because you place like a lot of work, a lot of thought into it. You invite everybody that you know, and then when the time comes, nobody shows up, but they all said they were going to go and show up. That's how it was like with a lot of my events that I was trying to host, like for little gaming tournaments, little community events, open lobbies, and all that stuff. So it's probably just coming out of like more than like 3 or 4 of these just going really bad. It's funny to go and critique my past self and just go over what is and what isn't.
Okay, not on YouTube, not on Twitter, not on Facebook, nowhere else. Just fucking PlayStation 4, asking a little bit about the videos. Not a lot, not in great detail, just asking when I'm going to upload another video. And that actually says a lot. That really does. I've been gone for more than about half a month, and nobody gave a fuck to ask any questions. Nobody gave a fuck to actually leave a comment below, talk about what game you guys want to play next. Nobody asked shit.
It's because at the time I didn't fully realize it because I was too endowed with my own mentality and my own way of doing things that now, as an older dude, I do have a much broader sense of self and a much broader sense of my community, or whatever community remains at this point, since we're kind of starting over at this point. It's not their responsibility to go and communicate with me. I mean, yeah, it's a given. Yeah, it's wonderful if my subscribers and anyone who decides to go and support me does. However, it's not their responsibility to do that. They don't have to do it. If they don't want to do it, if they view the video, cool. If they don't want to view the video, cool. If they want to go give it a like, a dislike, cool. If they want to, like, say anything wrong, critique, or whatever, that's literally up to them. I guess I was feeling a little entitled back then to having people just go and come up and just go and say something at least, or maybe just feeling like overly lonely or masking it as that. I don't know. Either way, I see exactly what needs to be changed now for future content so that we don't have to go and fall into the same spell as we did back then when we were younger, my early 20s. I had to be probably like, what, like 21, 22 years old? I don't know. Wait, how old is this video? 7 years? Yeah, around that time. Around 21, 22, 23-ish. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway, I'll figure it out. It probably was a little bit sooner than that, but regardless, let's just go and keep going.
Nobody. And the only reason that I really did not like the fact that I'm gonna go and make another video about this shit was because I didn't really know what the fuck to say in this video. I really did not. I mean, I really wanted to be different, but I can't. I really can't. And I'm not doing a script or anything with this either. It's just literally like at the top of my head, it's real talk. I'm done. I'm not quitting or anything like that, but
Real talk, I kind of did quit. I did end up technically quitting. It wasn't like literally by choice, really, but it was more or less like situational. At the time, besides like the gaming thing and the YouTube thing, I was actually going through an entire situation with my immediate family. My immediate family had like a whole thing to where they couldn't figure out if they wanted to work or if they didn't want to work. And people who were supposed to be working, like my siblings and we didn't have the proper transportation to do it. So I ended up pretty much just like on my nomadic journey where I usually just either just go and walk most places, take a bike most places, take the bus or whatever, because at the time Uber wasn't readily available for us. So actually, I don't even think it was a concept yet. I don't think it was really a thing until like a lot later, actually, like more than a couple years after. But yeah, like the bus system was trash as always. Even if you had like somewhere to go, like and be like specifically like on time, you always had to go and be there at least like an hour or two ahead of time, because the bus drivers usually, regardless if they're supposed to be there on time, are never there on time. And sometimes if it's someone who's just generally not caring about anything happening at all, like his job, the people around, and constantly arguing with crackheads 90% of the time, most of the time they're not usually going to be the friendliest. So if it's like one of those routes that they really don't care about, they're just going to keep going. Even if you're there, even if they see you, they don't care. They're going to keep going. So I don't know, at the time, probably, if I were to change anything about this, I would probably stop, I don't know, sounding more whiny, as I'm kind of doing like right now with this whole thing. Yeah, I could have done a lot better with that. I mean, yeah, I could have gone consistently keep producing content at the time, which would have been fine if I was still able to, because we lost our house also at the time because of my family. We didn't have like enough money to go and sustain ourselves. I remember I was doing my actual job, which was at this place called ShopRite, this grocery store. It's trash, but it was like one of my first major official jobs, like with consistent income, which was well below the minimum wage. I think it was like what, like $8 an hour, whatever. So I was finally introduced to overtime, and also trying to utilize my YouTube channel to also make money at the same time, and trying to go and sign up for sponsorships and such. But I didn't fully grasp the concept behind sponsorships because I was too focused on trying to get my place in order, either on my own or trying to make sure that my family was all right. So I would try to split my cash up between trying to get my own place and trying to get enough cash saved up for my family. However, it was the wrong way to go about it, because my family ended up still breaking apart and dividing even further anyway, no matter what my efforts were. I ended up eventually getting my own place, like I think like 3 or 4 years after the whole ordeal, like after this video was over with and we lost our place. We got another place, we lost that one too, because people just didn't want to go and pay the bills. They didn't want to go and be responsible for anything. They didn't want me to go and do my part, but still wanted to go and take whatever money that I had at the time. So it was like a whole thing, like a lot of different bad events happened after that left me homeless for about like 2 out of those 4 or 5. Yeah, actually no, it was about 2 years. About a year and a half to 2 years, give or take, being homeless inside the homeless shelter back and forth. So it wasn't really the best of times at that time. family had to go and get themselves together, started going on government support and all that stuff because people could not work or people refused to work or people didn't know how to go and utilize the funds properly on their own. And me not being able to do anything to that magnitude with the debts that needed to be paid, I had to go and just do what was necessary and just stick on my own, because after I had an argument with my mom at the time about like the funds, the money, the trajectory of my job, and what everyone else refuses to go and pitch in, I think we had lost our house and we had gotten a hotel or whatever somewhere over in Newark. Yeah, it was. It's Newark at the Red Roof. It was there. We stayed there for about a good month and a half to 2 months. However, during that first month, the end of that first month, I ended up getting kicked out of the very hotel that I was helping to go and contribute to. My mom wanted my bread. I told her that I did not have enough. Nobody else wanted to share their bread because they didn't want to go and deal with any type of issues or any type of arguments amongst each other again. So for whatever reason, they placed all the pressure and every bit of the spotlight on me to go and fix everything. I couldn't because I didn't have enough at the time, and it was unbeknownst to me until that moment that I needed to do something significantly harder because, to my understanding, I believed that all 4 or 5 of us at the time, well, it was 5 of us, but only 4 of us could work, were actually going to be getting jobs. We were going to be working. We were going to be getting things together and pitching in and placing our money together. That's not exactly what happened. My younger brother ended up going to the Marines and just completely left us, which was completely cool because he wanted to do his own thing, but he didn't want to be solely responsible for any of this, and he wanted to go and secure himself, which is cool. It's something that I wish that I actually had done too, but I decided to stay with my immediate family and try to make sure they were good. My sister had a job over at the Walmart, or I think it was a Walmart or some type of hotel or whatever, but either way, she has some type of job either between a Walmart or a hotel. Things were cool, but she wanted to go and explore life on her own, so she ended up bouncing in the middle of things. My mom had some type of problem with her health, so she couldn't really work anymore, but she did have like some type of small form of income coming in soon, but it wasn't enough to go and cover anything. And the dude of our house, which was her boyfriend at the time, he was still trying to go and recover from the fact that we just lost the whole house. Like, I think like it was like a second or third house we lost like in less than 4 or 5 years. So he didn't have anything left. He's sitting here trying to figure his life together. My mom's sitting here panicking and, stressed out. My siblings and my youngest brother was too young to go and work either way because he was small, but everybody just wanted to go and do their own thing, but the simplest thing to do would have been just to go and work together, make sure that all of our funds are going towards the same pot, and then we would have been good. We would have had another place to live. Everything would have been great. It's literally the simplest of ideas, as I've understood growing up, that usually make the biggest impacts, because people generally just don't want to do things. And even if it is in their best interest, they're not going to listen to you, and they're generally not going to do anything that would help themselves in the long run unless they actually see and can validate themselves through a vision of whatever they see you doing or whatever they see that you've already completed on your own, which is really annoying to think about. However, it is generally what human nature typically does. I mean, as dumb as it might sound, as illogical as it may appear to be, it's just like how people are. So in order to avoid this type of situation again, you just have to go and be on your square, and you just have to make sure that you go on and maintain frame at all times, at every instance that you can. There will be times that things get hard and get tough, but regardless of whatever your situation is, just try to push harder and get it done as hard as you can, as efficiently as you can, and as sharply as you can. That way, in the long run, you will be fine. If people need to depend on you for whatever reason, family, a girlfriend, kids, or whatever, you're going to be fine. You'll be able to take care of it. It's no problem. But yeah, this is like one of those struggle things that I had to deal with. It was like literally like on the apocalypse of like my whole life, like just going downhill. Like, it's like really amazing that I can actually just laugh at this now. Because like back then, like I was like really bad. Like things were really not good. I guess I was trying to utilize the videos and the games and stuff, and, like as like a means of trying to medicate like my depression and everything back then. Because like I was either like super angry or super depressed. Like a lot of like hot and cold, just like going back and forth. Never like really like anything like in between, unless like I'm like with like close friends or like just like by myself or whatever. But I can kind of see like why like I'm sounding like this in the past, like with this video of my channel dying, because this is probably like one of the things that I placed like all my eggs in one basket for, and it just didn't work out, more or less. But anyway, let's go and continue.
But I'm done. I am not going to be doing any more videos just for the sake of one or even just a few people that keep messaging me in my fucking private messages, either on PlayStation 4, Twitter, Facebook, or even on fucking YouTube, that apparently want me to go and do things for them, never fucking show up after I go and get it done, and have me waste videos doing a bunch of stuff for people that generally don't even give a fuck. I mean, my channel's dead right now. That's all what it boils down to. My channel is very much dead. Even though I got a good amount of subscribers, my channel's dead. You guys don't care. It's really showing that. I literally waited just to see if anyone would message on all of my platforms, and only got 4 people out of that whole fucking time. It's wrong. I shouldn't have to go and just ask for support every single time, begging and shit. I really shouldn't have to do that. I know like my videos aren't always the greatest, but they're not that fucking horrible to where nobody can fucking respond.
On the contrary. Okay, so my videos were not the best. I know that entirely for sure. I did place a lot of effort into it by my own metric, my own standards, my own personification of what success is, as well as also got validated by some of my closest friends and subscribers and such who religiously used to watch my videos on a consistent weekly and monthly basis whenever I did have a video or two out. However, I know for sure that they were not the best, as I already have reiterated inside the video itself. I just personally needed to make sure that somebody was watching my videos, because at the time, during this time, I know that I was inside of the basement of my mom's place, inside of it wasn't the cellar, but actually no, was it? No, it wasn't even a cellar. It was just like in the basement. We just had like a closed off basement where I was usually just doing my videos in, because it was more or less like my covering, or sorry, like my substitute for having like soundproof area. Because when I try to go and do videos inside of my room, like live streams and stuff, the connection would mess up. When I'm trying to go and do videos where I'm just doing like commentaries and such, which you guys can go and see in some of my vlog videos, then my voice is projecting itself so harshly to where it becomes almost unbearable. Like it's too much echo, or it's not like a pop filter available, or it's just too much just like of an annoyance just to go and keep hearing me out. Or I'm sorry my words, or I'm messing up and stuff. Like I still do it sometimes every now and then, but back then I was talking way too fast. Then when I stopped talking way too fast, it was just more or less like just outdated technology, like hardware that I have that I still kind of have. Like I have like a few pieces of it left, but it's like a mixture between new and old hardware. So back then I was just using like whatever I could. I had like the little PlayStation iCam for my actual camera. I didn't have like enough for like a regular genuine camera like how I do like right now, which is good. It can always be better, but it's good for right now. Or like a good microphone with a condenser on it in some way, shape, or form. So I would consistently just use like these earbuds like this, and I would try to go on like have some scotch tape, and I would try to go and place it to where it would be clear but on the side of my face, so that you can go and just hear me as clear as possible, but also not really see like what I have. And I'll have like a hoodie like over me, or a hat around like my face, so that you don't have to go and see like the little tape. So I was trying to go and make strides to go and try to have like the best content that I had available to me with the tools that I had at the time, and still look mildly presentable even with things happening, and not place like too much alarm on my personal life and such. However, it is not enough. It wasn't enough, and it still was never going to be enough. So just realistically with myself, I know that for the future and other pieces of content that I make this significantly more serious going forward, we just have to go and hit harder. We just have to keep going further. We don't have to like go and make videos like this, just downing ourselves or feeling entitled to subscribers and everything else. I mean, like I know what does sell and I know what doesn't sell. Back then, I also knew what sold and what didn't sell. However, I didn't necessarily understand fully the longevity of marketing in the way that I do now. So, for instance, like if I'm making like a video about talking about anything in particular, like a common event that's happening, like a very, very hot but common event, I'm going to go and get some traction off of that. I know that. I'm going to go and get some clout. Some people are going to be talking and everything. Not a lot, but a couple people. If I start being outrageous, argumentative and everything, creating drama, being negative, having like an outrageous set of opinions about specific people, specific topics and all that, then things are going to be happening as well. I will get a lot more of a response. I'll get both positive and negative responses and neutral responses with people's opinions, which ultimately amounts to monetization eventually. However, I never really wanted to do that. Like, I know I can do that. I probably will do that now because, we have to go and do more professional content as we get older and stuff, and things have to change. I'm not a teenager no more. However, back then, I wasn't necessarily worried about that. I wanted to make sure that I had like the best content ever. I was competing and beefing with like other YouTubers and other gamers and stuff who will watch my videos and then they would go and downplay my videos or give me thumbs down, or they would wait till I get on the game on COD or whatever, and then they would just start talking trash, and then they would just keep coming at me, or they would be trying to troll me and everything because I'm the YouTube guy. I'm the guy who actually legitimately takes time to make custom thumbnails. I actually make the time to go and do custom commentary about specific issues that matter, or I'll do a live stream and be petty and start talking about the person while we're inside the same lobby as them, even if I just met them, because I don't like them, because they said something that I don't like or something that generally just pisses me off. I was really petty and very immature back then. Now, I can still do that now. I can do even worse now for fun and for clicks. However, we're not trying to do all that. We're not. Nowadays, since I'm older, I'm just trying to go and make sure that I can go and keep getting my life archived in this way, so I can go over every major video, or even like most videos that I've done so far, and just point out what I thought, what I felt at that time, how I've changed, and how things can go and be different now versus back then with the mentality and being isolated mentally. Because if I had like myself or like a teacher back then that could have actually helped me out with these type of things from a genuine standpoint, I know I probably would have been like significantly higher than what I am now. I would have been big. I would have been famous by now. I had the drive, I had the ambition, I had a lot of energy, and I had a lot of ideas, and I had a lot of drive when it comes to anything and everything. It didn't matter like what day it was, what time it was, how long it was, or whatever. However, nowadays, things have changed. So we have to go and keep moving forward and adapting to every form of situations that we go and come across. It's just the way that life goes, as well as YouTube and its new rules. So, either way, let's go and continue.
Nobody can fucking leave a comment on what the fuck they want to see next or how they're going to improve so that I can make them even happier. I mean, I've already mentioned before that I'm honest, okay? I'm not trying to sell that and shit. I'm trying to make that fucking known, okay? I've always been honest to a large extent. I really don't give a fuck about this YouTube money and shit. I'm just trying to go and get big and successful on YouTube so I can go and get my messages out there a little bit more so that people can actually be helped with real information that's not going to always be marketing them and trying to go and make money off of them.
And that's where I done goofed, guys. So let's go over that for a little bit. Yeah, I wasn't trying to make money back then because, honestly, the money from YouTube was completely and utterly overplayed like it was something magical. And technically it was, but that magic was only specifically available for very key people within the YouTube community. So, for instance, people who generally wanted to get things done, they would generally try to go and work together with other establishments or themselves by mass producing videos from like a month or two, and then they would have at least about a season or more worth of videos after. So imagine doing like a 2 hour live stream, but doing about a 2 hour live stream more than about 4 to 5 different times in the same 2 day period. If you do that and you split it up and you keep going down the list, you're going to be able to go and make highlights, funny moments, rants, or whatever from these live stream videos, and you'll be able to go and make smaller videos, make your thumbnail as like parts, seasons, or whatever, and then now you go and get monetized off of each of these as if like it's an entire series or it's like an entire playlist of some sort. So regardless of however I'm saying it like right now, like from back then, regardless of however you try to go and spin it, you're still technically going to be doing some form of marketing, regardless if you're trying to avoid it or not. And even like with the YouTube money, if you're doing it correctly, you can get a lot. Like right now, YouTube automation is a serious thing right now. It's making a lot of money. Also, just doing videos itself, like on a consistent nowadays, it's not necessarily lucrative unless you're actually doing something interesting with your channel. Like it actually has to have a purpose. You can't just be mindlessly talking about whatever and then just expect people to just go and come on unless you have some type of gimmick with it. So you either got to be funny, you either have to go and just be teaching something, you have to be realistic. Wokeism was a whole concept and still is every now and then, but it depends on the person. It also depends on the situation, but it changes almost every other month or every season, more or less, or sometimes in some cases almost every other day. So you just have to go and be up on the grind with what's marketable and what's not marketable and change up your tactics. And even if you can't fully change up your tactics either from pride, ego, or whatever, you just got to swallow that and just go and keep moving forward. Like, if you want to go and be successful on YouTube and go and make the big bucks, the big subscribers and all that stuff, that's great because it's just an idea. But if you really want to place it into action, you have to be able to go and do more work than you've ever been able to, so that you're able to go and understand that everything that you've done so far within the space is ultimately going to earn you everything that you could ever desire in the end. Everything that you do has to be cataloged or archived in some way, shape, or form so that you can understand the journey. And then if other people ever try to discredit you or ever try to question you or whatever, or downplay you or whatever, you can just show them your video. All your videos from all your struggles and all of your past selves, everything that you've done so far in the past that led you up to the current point that you're in right now, can technically be a video portfolio of everything, of your life, of your struggles, your loves, your hates, your everything, and how you got to that point of success. So regardless of me not wanting to make money or saying that I don't want to make money back then, because I think I only made about $5-6 overall from YouTube by itself. The whole time I've ever been on here, $5-6 and some change. And then I joined this thing called I think Channel Pages or whatever. It was like some type of sponsorship or whatever that was associated with small channels that was supposed to go and help boost them up. I remember I joined them and I thought I was going to go get like hundreds of subscribers added onto my stuff periodically throughout the months. That was a lie. I only got one subscriber, and that person was the supervisor or representative or whatever who was supposed to be helping me to manage my channel or whatever. So that person never did nothing. I think her name was Ro or whatever. Ro didn't do nothing. She didn't do jack. Yeah, she would message, but she didn't do nothing. She was actually trying to figure her stuff out as well, and was just regurgitating the same stupid vocal points that were already widely available throughout YouTube, but just in the typed sense, like article-wise. Also, she was significantly younger than me, so I'm like, how am I going to go and take orders from a kid? Like, after I discovered that, I'm like, nah, I'm not doing this no more. I don't take orders from nobody who's, like, significantly younger than me. Like, what is this? No. It's supposed to be a professional environment. You made me sign, like, all this. Maybe do all that. Like, they had, like, a whole process in which they wanted me to do things on. But after I signed up with them, they ended up taking my money out of my AdSense. Somehow, I don't know how, because like I thought like if you were supposed to go and have like over $100, then you were able to go and cash out. But whatever cash that I had within my AdSense account, they took it. So I was back down to zero again. They took my $5. What to do? And that representative girl that they had me trying to report to didn't know anything and was also struggling with her channel, even with all the benefits and the sponsorships of the whole thing as well, the network as well. So I think they took me off. I hope they took me off. I haven't seen anything from them for like years, but I kind of forgot. Whenever I go and figure out like the name of that network and their weird practices, if they're still around or whatever, then we can kind of go over them later on, like from a business sense of why they're a thing and how they're making their cash, so that we can go and understand, so we don't have to go and fall under the same thing later on down the line, possibly. However, that'll be like for another time in another video, because I like to break things down now, react to things, and try to go over what can and what can't be fixed and why things are happening now. So either way, let's go and continue.
I don't see you guys as money backs. I see you guys as fucking people. For God's sake. So what the fuck? Anyway, that's all I gotta fucking say on this shit. If you guys really care, again, as I always say in almost every other fucking video so far, just please leave a comment below. If you're actually alive, tell me if you guys are alive or not, please.
Okay, so we're gonna go and place an end to that. I think that's the end of the video. All right, so let's go over that as well, a little last bit. Yeah, I was sounding a bit more emotional than what I should have been for like a video should be. So yeah, you can still sound emotional. It's your videos, your content, whatever, and your video is usually going to be a depiction of your own personality on a platter, or a video that is worthy of your time, your face, and your overall image to the world. However, I was sounding a bit too emotional at the end. I could have done better with that. Also, I can't really fault people for not really wanting to view my channel at that time, because look at what you guys have. Like, yeah, it looks good to me and it looks good to some people, but it doesn't look good to a lot of people, or the majority of people, which is overall the stemming issue. For instance, my quality is low. Let's see, it's at 480p. At the highest, it goes at that time to 720p. 1080p was the best that you could do back then. And I have like a 1080p camera right now. 4K was not necessarily a thing yet. So if it wasn't like at the highest order, the highest quality order that you could possibly get to, I can understand why people didn't want to do that or really want to deal with that, because a lot of my videos seem to be like a split between 480p and 720p. So if it's at 480p, the quality is obviously trash and a little blurry, but you can still see everything, you can still hear me and everything. However, it's a little wonky, a little choppy, a little chalky and all that. So that could be like a significant issue that's not very visible, not very worthy of being viewed. Another reason would be not necessarily like my viewpoints with certain assets and certain things and topics, but the fact that I keep cringily saying what the fudge and all types of other little stupid curses. I mean, yeah, I like to curse, and yeah, this will be like one of those videos that I'm just going to be consistently cursing and stuff. However, back then, I cursed a lot more than like what I do now. I still curse a lot now, but I don't curse as much as what I used to, because I'm not as angry anymore. Lots of things happen. Age has mellowed me out more than a bit, so just try to go and find another way to go and get things done. I try not to go and cringily say anything anymore if possible. I mean, yeah, my slur might mess up my words sometimes, like how I keep doing now. However, it's not necessarily significantly more noticeable like how it was back then, like all those years ago. It was like 7-8 years ago. I gotta stop cringily f-bombing everything. I gotta stop cringily coming up with concepts that don't really make sense. That's more or less like me having like an attitude because I'm feeling entitled to something that doesn't make any sense, because I didn't necessarily place in enough work or the specific amount of work that is congruent with what I actually want versus what I feel entitled to. So I have to work on that. I really do have to go in and work on the types of games that I also play as well, because as you can see, I got weekly videos on the left that would have been like a clickable link that's since expired, and random videos on the right, which technically isn't random because I know what that video is, but it is and definitely random to somebody else. It's just like a highlights gameplay of me just getting like 40, 50, or 70 kills on a Call of Duty Black Ops 2 but it's not necessarily like that great of a concept when you really go about it. So the weekly videos is usually going to be like commentaries, random videos, usually just going to be like a random set of gameplays that I would be doing. So the way that I present myself back then was pretty good at the time because of like what I lacked in information, knowledge, and a proper teacher. I pretty much just learned off of like whatever videos that I was seeing. Most of this was primarily done off of Camtasia and Microsoft Movie Maker, like a mixture of that, and another site called PicMonkey. So I did pretty good with like what I had, but I know that I can do significantly better now. Even back then, I knew like I wasn't like at the fullest potential that I could have been at. It was more or less just being overstressed about losing my home and having to go and deal with the family and their problems, and then that being intertwined with whatever career I was trying to make with all of this. But yeah, a lot of this can easily be changed and fixed. I do like my picture though. I still like that. That's the picture that I made that I took of myself and edited much more seriously for Instagram when I was over there at Harper's Ferry Job Corps. Harper's Ferry Job Corps is trash. However, it was still a nice time there. I got to meet like a lot of excellent people, very outstanding individuals over there that I still go and try to maintain contact with, more or less through Facebook and Instagram now, that are still alive and well and still thriving and getting better almost every day of every week. We can also go over that too, as to why that's also significantly important later on down the line in another video. Everything else is still relatively, it's still relatively bad, but it can easily go and be fixed in time. We just have to go and rebrand, redo whatever is necessary to go and get things done. Anyway, though, let me go back here. Yeah, I don't really know nothing about that, but anyway, though. Oh, God. Let me know what you guys think inside the comment section below about everything, about me critiquing my own video, about me whining and crying about why my channel is dead. I mean, if I gotta ask if my channel died, it's dead. I mean, it's pretty obvious. Like, I didn't want it to be that like back then, but like realistically speaking, I just ripped the band-aid off of everything now because I don't be caring about nothing. Like, yeah, like it is what it is. Just have to go and get better and try harder. Especially now since it's game time, it's wartime. We understand exactly what's necessary. I want to be the best there ever was within my space and all spaces that come after. Like I want to get wealthy. I want to be amazing. I want to get my hair fixed, which is also another topic of discussion for another time. I want to get better clothes. I want a wife. I want kids. I want a lot of things that are actually, necessary for my own sanity. Because if you don't have like a hope and don't have like a dream, and if you can't laugh at yourself for like the mistakes that you make and just find different ways to fix them, then you're really gonna have a bad time in life. So, regardless, everyone's amazing. Love you guys. Thank you guys for going and joining for this video. Make sure to go and leave a comment below, like the video so I can share this around everywhere, and make sure that you guys stay tuned for the next video. I'll see you later. Stay safe out there.